What's going on, YouTube? So let me introduce you guys here to the new member of the Reef tank, the Dwarf Golden Moray Eel. This is one of the additions I really wanted to make part of my reef build. I wanted this guy ever since before I started building my tank, so I'm really happy I was able to get him. At the LFS store, they had him as a pair, the male and female. They've had them in their store for approximately about a month. Every now and then I would go in there and just check them out to see how they were doing. Now on Sunday I was out watching some football with my girl. We happened to stop by the store to find out that the female had been sold. So at that point I was like, man, I gotta get this guy. They're really rare, hard to find. Not to mention they're also expensive, but I know I was going to be really mad, kicking myself, if next time I came into the store and it wasn't there anymore. So I decided to go ahead and get him. Now the only problem, as you can see, is that he did not want to leave this rock. So the LFS store didn't want to stress him out. They said, you know what, you're taking him along with his rock. So they packed up the rock into a bucket for me. And here I am trying to see how I can get him out of the rock here. Now I was hoping he would swim out and then I can just easily remove the rock. The only other option I have is to place the rock into my main display tank, and hopefully he swims out and then I can take the rock out. But that's a big no-no because I've seen some worms and stuff on this rock, and I don't want to take the chance of introducing any pests to my display tank. So I'm going to go ahead and check to see how I can take this guy out of here. He's been acclimating already for approximately about 3 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and start harassing him here a little bit, moving the rock around to see if he comes out. Now I'm not mad that I brought this rock in because I can use it in the future once I dry it out and cure it. And it also came with a lot of snails and crabs that the store didn't mind of taking off, so they're going to make a nice addition to my cleanup crew. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking the rock here out of the bucket, see if he starts poking out. Now this rock is pretty hollow inside because I can see the eel poking in and out of the different parts of the rock. So there he goes. Alright, I just want to make sure I also don't keep him so much out of the water, especially the head, and want to make sure the head is submerged on the water. But it looks like this method is working, because of course they're always going to look and go towards where the water is. So I'm just going to keep the rock out of the water and just dip it in and out just to make sure I keep his head wet. Come on, buddy, you're almost out. Man, this guy does not want to leave this rock. Looks like we almost got him out. He's about halfway out, but then again he's also at the same time trying to poke his head in a hole on the other side of the rock. You can see him there trying to go back in. So I'm just going to go ahead and touch him to see if this stimulates him a little bit to keep on moving forward. Alright, come on, you're almost out. And there he goes. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and let him acclimate in here for a little bit more. Alright guys, so basically all I'm doing here is just lowering the water level on the bucket that's been dripping on the bucket there to acclimate the eel. So this way it's going to be make it a lot easier for me to catch him, to put him into the main display tank. As you can see, he's a beauty. Has a bright yellow neon tail. Alright, it's time to catch him, to put him in the tank. So I don't want to use a net. I don't want to stress him out with a net. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop him up here with this jar I have. And I'm going to try to make him swim into the jar to scoop him out easy. And there we go, we got him. Nice and easy. And there he goes. Whee! Finally in the tank. Yes. So you can see him immediately. He went there behind the rock. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the other side. Alright, there he is. He's probably going to go ahead and start exploring now and see where he can hide. Okay, so it looks like the eel found the spot. I feel sorry for the onyx there. That's the cave he used to sleep in. So it looks like the eel has taken over, pushed him out of there. It's amazing how they can fit their long body in such a small space. Yeah, so it looks like it likes that little cave there. Let's see if it makes it its home. Everybody in the tank is pissed off for waking them up. Sorry guys. Yeah, it looks like it's liking it there for now. Let's see if it stays there. Video bomber. Alright, so it looks like he's found a new spot up there in that rock. He's been up there since this morning. Now looks like he's still not quite comfortable. He does once in a while swim out, poking his head in different spots, trying to find a better hideout. We can see right there, there's his head. Now the problem with my scape is that it's so open that there's not really a good hideout for him. On the other hand, the nice thing about it is that pretty much anywhere he goes, I'm still going to be able to see where he's at. But these guys do prefer scape where rock is pretty much piled up, so they can hide out their whole body. So I don't want him to be stressed out. I want him to be comfortable. So I've decided to build him a cave out of PVC. And I'm gonna go ahead and dig the PVC under the sand, so it's nice and neat and you don't see the PVC. So what I'm thinking of doing is right here on this side, I'm gonna be doing one of the entrances here, and then the PVC is gonna go behind this middle rock there, and the other entrance is gonna come out this side. And then I'm just gonna make sure everything's buried under the sand so it looks nice. So I'm going to head out to the store, get some tubing. Alright guys, so this is the tubing I'm going to be using to create his cave. Much better than the PVC. This way I don't have to be messing around with elbows and fittings and trying to get it the way I want it. It's this kinky tubing here. Plenty of space for him. It's 1 1/8 inch in diameter. So it's actually really flexible, easier to work with. This is actually the shape I need, so it's perfect. Rock's going to be here in the middle. Tubing is going to go behind the rock, buried under the sand. There's going to be one entrance to the cave, and there's going to be another entrance to the cave on the other side. So I'm just going to make sure that the ends, once I bury them, that the ends are upward like this, so no sand gets in there. And then the rest of the tubing is going to be buried under the sand. So I'm going to give the tubing a nice hot rinse with tap water, and then rinse it out with some RODI water before I get it installed. Alright guys, so this is exactly what I was talking about. Look at all the worms and crap that came out of this rock here. Thank God that I didn't introduce this rock into my system. Not I would have introduced all of these pests. So it's all over the rock. There's a lot of worms, big ones. Worms that I didn't even see on the rock when I was trying to take the eel out. So they camouflage pretty good. Still a lot of them in there. So look at all this. So yeah, I'm pretty happy I didn't put this rock in there, man. I would have had introduced all of these pests. So I'm just gonna let it keep on soaking sun there and drying up. And hopefully I'll wash it up nicely and start curing it. And then I can probably use it in the future if I need to. But it's a nice piece of rock. So there you have it, guys. Alright guys, so this is the final product. I'm really happy the way it came out. As you can see, the eel is also loving it. He's constantly swimming from one end to the other. Really happy the way it came out. The tubing, I went ahead and made sure it was nicely buried under the sand. And then the end of the tubings, as you saw there, I went ahead and placed the rock I had as a cave on top of the end of the tubing to make it look like a nice cave entrance there. So it gives it that nice cave effect. The tubing goes behind that middle rock there, and it's completely buried, going around the other side. And then I was lucky enough to still have some rock left over, and I created this little entrance here on the other end to cover the end of the other side of the kinky tubing. So the end result here, we have two entrances in a cave, in a nice cave form. So there's two cave entrances. Really happy with it. So you can see he's constantly swimming from one end to the other, so he's loving it. Now these guys grow to be about 12 inches. This one's about a nice 10 inches. It has a nice neon yellow tail. The body is a pale orange, and they have blue eyes. Now this is considered to be one of the best eels for a reef tank, because they're not big and bulky like your other eels where they can easily knock down your aquascape or coral. Also, out of all eels, it's also one of the less aggressive. Of course, we can eliminate the fact that it is a predator and it will eat if it fits in its mouth. But as you can see, their mouths are pretty small, so most fish in a reef tank are safe. Now, then again, as long as you keep them fed, you shouldn't have a problem. At the LFS, the holding tank they had him with 2 diamond gobies, snails, and crabs, and he never bothered any of them. He was actually hand-fed silver sides at the LFS. No, it's just like anything else. It's the same thing as when people, people that put triggers in their reef. So it's the same thing. As long as you kept them fed, they don't bother other fish. Now, this guy, I believe the last time he ate was on Saturday. So I've been offering it food daily till they eat, so I can get them on a feeding schedule. They usually eat twice a week. They have small metabolisms. This type of eel is also not an open swimmer, so I should be okay with an open top. Ever since I put him in the tank, he hasn't swam to the surface. He's always been swimming in and out just at the down at the rock work. So yeah, once they find a spot, they're usually good with it. And they make it home. That's pretty much where they would stay the whole time. They'll swim in and out. Once in a while, but that's pretty much the spot they would stay at. So that's it, guys. As you can see, I'm really happy. That's why I placed the both entrances facing forward, so we can, if people come over, they can constantly see him poking out. So I'm really happy the way it came out. I hope you guys like it. The introduction of the new member. Hit that like, subscribe. Thank you for watching, guys.